that would actually help us save us a lot of time. So there's time for one more question, and this privilege is only for in-person presenters. So do we have any more questions to Mr. Philpott? If not, let's thank Mr. Philpott for. Thank you, Mr. Philpott. Now I would like to welcome Mr. Ghosh, who's going to be presenting on the overview of medical device regulatory landscape in India and its steady progress towards digital health.
Very good morning to all of you. Thank you to be here, and it's a great chance to present on this international platform. India is now take the lead in medical device sector and become the leader of manufacturing of affordable, innovative and quality medical devices under the Make in India project. Medical device tools, please. Medical device rules published on 31st January 2017 and effective with effect from 1st January 2018 under the Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940 to regulate the investigation, clinical investigation, manufacturing, import and sales and distribution in India. Central government used the power of under Section 12 and Section 33 of Drugs and Cosmetics Act to make this rule. The definition of medical devices as per the notification 648 dated 11th February 2020 and with effect from 1st April 2020, all the medical devices are comes under drugs. These are the definition. On same day, separate notification 102 was issued for the registration of medical devices which are under the definition as with effect from 1st April 2020. Now, as per the notification from 1st April 2020 to 30th September 2021, all the classes of medical devices, Class A, Class B, Class C and Class D are under voluntary registration. After that, 1st October 2021 to 30th September 2022, Class A and Class B medical devices comes under voluntary registration. After that, they are under licensing process. And Class C and Class D medical devices are under the compulsory registration up to 30th September 2023. Now, all the classes of medical devices with effect from 1st October 2023 are under licensing process in India, but the exemption of 6 months for the manufacturer and importers who are already manufacturing and importing Class C and medical devices and apply on or before 30th September 2023. This is the transition timeline for Class A and Class B medical device. This is for 30 months, and for Class C and Class B medical devices is 42 months with effect from the 1st April 2020. It's not working. Medical devices are classified in India as per the risk associated with this device. If the device comes under the low risk, then it comes under Class A. If the risk is low moderate, then under Class B. If it is moderate high, then comes under Class C. And if it is high, then comes under Class D. There are two licensing authorities in India: Central Licensing Authority and State Licensing Authority. Central Licensing Authority is responsible for grant of manufacturing license of Class C and Class D and import of all classes of medical devices. And State Licensing Authority is responsible for manufacturing of Class A and Class B medical devices and sales and distribution of all classes of medical devices. Central Licensing Authority is responsible for the clinical investigation of all classes of medical devices, and the grant of Class A and Class B medical device, the requirement of fees is 5,000 rupees, and for Class C and Class D, the requirement is 50,000 rupees. For registration, certificate is required for the distribution and sales of all classes of medical devices, and fees requirement is 3,000 rupees for all classes of medical device. These are the different forms involved for manufacturing of all classes of medical devices. If applicant applied for the class grant of license of class A and class B, then we will apply on form MD3. In case of loan license, on form MD4, and license will be granted on form MD5, and for loan license MD6. And class C and class D medical device applicant apply on form MD6. In case of loan license MD7, and license will be granted on MD8 and MD9, 10. For registration certificate for the sales and distribution of medical device, the registration certificate will be issued on form MD2, MD42, and applicant apply on form MD41. These are the process of grant of manufacturing license of all classes of medical devices. This is the process of grant of import license of all classes of medical devices. Applicant apply on form MD14 and license will be granted on form MD15. Now, the future of medical device is poised to undergo huge transformation due to digital revolution. And digital health is associated with telemedicine, medical device, data system, electronic health record, and artificial intelligence and machine learning based devices, that is software as medical device, software in medical device. The different actors are dependent on digital health, and their expectation is the health professional wants to improve the clinical result, and patients wants to improve their experience and security. Health organizations wants to improve the efficiency of its internal process. Technological companies want profitability, and regulators wants to reduce the risk and improvement of the patient safety. In India, under the Constitution of India, public health is a subject of state government, but the artificial intelligence and machine learning in healthcare regulation bears national relevance. Therefore, it focuses on the relevant law, ministry, departments, and autonomous bodies at the union government level. Software application is used for sharing patients' health data and intended for transferring, storing, converting, format, displaying data and health and result. To protect the patient's safety and right, it is important to ensure that this artificial intelligence-based software is working as intended. The critical nature of data and their supply chains has made it highly susceptible to cyber attack. In consequence of this attack, many government agencies undertake measures to protect their citizens. US FDA released Protecting and Transforming Cyber Healthcare Act 2022, that is security throughout the total product life cycle of cyber devices, that is software as medical device. To protect the confidentiality, availability, and integrity of the data processed by the software as medical device is the principle of medical device cyber security. On May 12, 2021, in USA, an executive order on improving the nation's cybersecurity was recommended. National Institute of Standard and Technology published guidance on practice for software supply chain security, that every vendors who supply government the software, they have the software bill of materials with their product. It is a contextual artificial intelligence application to predict the cyber threat before they occur. The order has vital impact on medical device industries and hospitals. The present health economy is totally based on the open source software. Software as medical device manufacturers purchase softwares from open market without knowing the threat lurking inside the software component. And as there is no proper list of SBOM, the manufacturer unable to identify the thread and the weak code inside the software application. SBOM is a formal machine-readable inventory of software components, information of their components, and their hierarchical relationship. That means SBOM is a detailed list of all the software components within a product. On 30th April 2023, International Medical Device Regulatory Forum published the principle and practice of software bill of materials for the medical device cybersecurity. This is the process of integration of software bill of materials in the software as medical device. The design for code recognizes the area which may involve the dependencies. Open source dependencies are integrated into the code. Then initial of SBOM is created with a list of dependencies. Testing identifies the code vulnerability in the program or application. Dependencies are collected to prepare for deployment, and SBOM is created. Now, code is put into the production with reference to SBOM. SBOM updated as the software is patched or updated. If there is any vulnerability, then the SBOM will create an alert. SBOM helps manufacturer to identify the vulnerability in their product and then identify the risk which is caused due to these vulnerabilities. Once risks are identified, it is very easy to mitigate and avoid them entirely following the risk management standard, that is ISO 14971. The supply of software components from the approved vendors and maintenance to software as medical device SBOM helps the software as medical device to perform continuously in the healthcare delivery organization. Thank you for your patience hearing. These are the regulations.
Mr. Ghosh, that was a fantastic presentation. I have made quite a bit of notes because there was lots of questions that I wanted to ask, but maybe I'll hold that towards the end. But let's open the session for questions. As I mentioned, we'll have 2 questions for in-person presenters. And again, please put on the mics in front of you, introduce yourself, and then pose the question to Mr. Ghosh.
Thank you, that was very informative. My name is Carol, I'm from Australia. It's very, there's a couple of things. Like you mentioned that the licensing component is governed by the government only for public health, or is it for private as well? Does it apply across the board, or is it limited to public hospital and public health only?
It's product based. Overall regulation is a product based. Because regulator of hospitals are different, but the Government of India, the Drugs and Pharmaceuticals Act and Medical Device Rule, these are the product based, and these medical devices are, globally, medical device regulations are product based.
The second question, if I may, and this is what I was curious, what's the de-licensing process? Because you mentioned it's post-market analysis is voluntary. So what is the de-licensing process, if that's a better word for it?
For medical device,
Yes.
different classes. I have already flow chart sheet was there. The class A, class B, class C, and class D medical devices. The manufacturing license is there and import license is there. In case of class A medical device, as per medical device rule in India, no audit is required. Audit may be carried out after 120 days of grant of license. But in case of class B medical devices, where the low moderate, audit is required. After application, within 90 days, the notified body will go and audit the industry. And class C and class D medical devices are directly audited by the regulators.
So if I lose, what would I have to do to lose my license, for example? So if I was a sponsor or a vendor,
Yeah.
what will it take for me to lose a license to ability to sell in Australia? Oh, sorry, India.
If your company wants to manufacture the product in India, then the process is there. If they want to manufacture import it, then they have to apply on India. The documents are there. Main is the conformity assessment. When you apply for the manufacturing license, you should have the basic thing, that is ISO 13485 documents of with your product, and the other related document, your manufacturing facilities, your different type of certifications. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I had a similar question, but I think you kind of briefly touched on it about the deregistration process, because especially with SBOM and the suppliers, you also mentioned about registered vendors. It might be interesting to see with software how long does the support, upgrade support is going to be valid, because that's going to link to the previous question about deregistration.
That is that the second part is it will come. It will come. Already it is in USA and different developed countries, because in case of pharmaceuticals, in case of hardware medical device, we are using bill of materials and purchase bills for backtracking of the product. But software, now all the medical devices are connected with softwares. How the regulator will backtrack product. If any product imported from outside India, after coming here, if there is any hacking or anything, then only software component is the responsible to identify, yes, who is the author, who is the vendor, and how the listing of the product. Software component in hierarchical relationship, these are the components which are in software application, and tracking these components, the vulnerability, which is the weak code and vulnerability is detected. It's a totally a new concept. Different USA-based companies, FOSSA and different companies are working with this. And already IMDRF has published this one. So automatically these points will come. In case of India, maybe it's new, but this concept will come.
Thank you, Mr. Ghosh. I think it's an evolving space, and clearly there is a need for defining it further, especially around the decommissioning phase, which we kind of seem to be not having clarity around. I'll allow for one more question, if there is any burning questions from the audience. If not, let's thank Mr. Ghosh for
Thank you. Thank you.
So kind of segues into the next presentation, because we just spoke about the decommissioning of technologies, and there is a study from Italy on the survey as part of post-market clinical follow-up. So I'm not sure if the audience, if the speakers are in the audience, but I assume it's going to be a virtual presentation. It's from a team from Italy, Federica Miola